I never blame you, Mike. No. No, I gave you credit. Credit. Don't you want credit? So, hey, everybody. Are you ready for the talk? Yeah. We're from the internet, and we're here to help. I'm Joe Peacock, the UI crayon monkey dork from Fark.com. This is Tony Nick. He is the field general, director of operations. Neither one of us is Drew Curtis, because neither one of us has a beer in our hand. So essentially, this is a talk on how to completely fuck up a redesign for a large social site. Yeah, we did that, and that's kind of what we're here to discuss. The relevant point comes from a story that you guys may have read last week about how Walmart made a $1 billion decision, which completely sunk their profits last year. I'm going to tell that story right now. So basically, Walmart decided that Target was getting popular, and so they decided to analyze what's the difference between Walmart and Target. Why are we losing market share to Target? And what they determined was that Target had a smaller vertical of more choice products, wider aisle space, a little bit more pristine, a little bit cleaner, a little less cluttered. And they decided to do exactly that. That was the issue. We have a clutter gap, and we want to fix the clutter gap. So then, being very enterprising and customer focused and very smart, they went and asked all their customers a massive survey, hey, how do you guys feel about the decision for us to widen our aisles, reduce product, make things less cluttered? And of course, every single person who shopped at Walmart said, that's genius, do it. They did it, and in 1 year, they lost almost $1 billion in revenue. That's billion. The reason why they did that is because that's actually a really stupid thing to do. You don't go solve the problem for a customer and then tell them that you figured it out for them. You kind of got to involve them in that decision if you think something's wrong. And that's kind of what we did in 2007. We went the wrong way with our redesign efforts. We made a great decision. It was an awesome redesign. It was needed, it was necessary, and we executed it the exact wrong way. And that's what we're here to talk about a little bit. So, hi Tony. Hi. Do you want to pitch in yet, or no?
Actually, you're doing great.
Thank you. I actually purposely chose this image because that dude is awesome.
Oh yeah.
So this is kind of what we did. This is where we went in 2007. We call it Web 1.1. It's a little bit better than what it was. Cleaner, more unified look, something less cluttered. Wider aisles, less product selection, easier to see, nicer to use. The Skittle tabs, up in here, and I forgot I'm using PowerPoint, which I hate, so I can't use my mouse. But you guys can see the different colored tabs to indicate different sections of the site. What we did here essentially was kind of, fluid, the headline area, shove everything to the right so that there wasn't a dual column layout. I'm going to trace back a little bit of the history of Fark and give you guys an idea of where we came from and what's different about it now.
Actually, I want to interrupt just a minute. How many people here have been with Fark or are familiar with Fark already?
The whole room.
Wow.
We thank you. Thank you. We're very glad you're here, actually. Jobs are great. And by the way, this is Mike Andrews, our system administrator, who's shy but is going to talk the entire time anyway, because we're going to involve him. He has no choice. He's responsible. Actually, he was the one who was right. He was, when I came to Fark, well, you know what? That's part of the talk. Why don't I wait till I get there? So this is where Fark started, 1999. It was just a list of links. Yeah, really simple.
Keep it.
Right in front of your face. Yeah.
Never change. Never change.
Yeah, change is bad. Change is awful. I think we all figured this one out on the internet, right? Yeah, we'll also see Fark opinions on things. That's kind of relevant and makes a lot of sense, right? Tells you exactly what's there. So essentially, we had a list of links. Drew originally wanted to start Fark as a recipe for curry database. Not quite what it is today, but he likes curry and beer a lot. So that's what Fark was going to be. But then you found this amazing image of a squirrel with big nuts, which I just think is too pornographic to show here, and decided to change it to that instead. What he went with was, hey, I'm finding all this cool shit all day long. you know what, instead of emailing all my buddies, I'm just gonna stick it in one spot and have everybody come there. And it was a lightning strike. It was awesome. It wasn't like he just decided this was the most amazing business model ever. I'll aggregate all the information on the internet that's worth looking at. He did something he thought was cool. That's pretty much a success story for anything that's worth doing, right? Yeah, he told his friends, they told 2 friends, so on and so forth. Everybody used shampoo and everyone's happy. We learned a lesson. If you don't get that joke, it's from a commercial. So as the site grew and got bigger, the need for things like links and menus and a logo kind of got bigger and bigger. Now, I was not involved at this time. I think at this point it was you and Drew and Jeff, right? Oh, I don't know who he is. Yeah, it's another Joe, bad Joe. We don't talk about bad Joe. We talk about awesome Joe. And Tony, the kind of Nick. So things evolve out of necessity, not out of direction. That's sort of how the early internet worked, right? You know you need it, you put it there, people use it, great. As time goes forward, you evolve a little bit more. You start realizing there's a need to make a little bit of money at this thing because server costs are not free. You have to pay people who are helping you out, sell some classifieds, sell some ads, grow the site a little bit more. People are asking for places to directly discuss certain items of the day. This was social in 2001. And actually, an interesting note when I was going through grabbing screenshots, which I completely forgot about, this day which lives in infamy. This was October 2001. You can see all the news flashes on the front page about 9/11. And the reason I bring this up is because the conversation can only go up from that topic, right? Essentially, Fark became the epicenter of news information on 9/11 because no one could get to CNN. That's how I found Fark, was because someone said this shit's going down. I can't watch TV at work. I'm going to go check out this Fark thing because everyone's talking about what's going on in the threads. It was important and it was strong and it was basically the place to find information because nothing else would load and no one else was able to talk about it. Fark was very powerful then. Its users were powerful, and that's where we're going with this talk, is that the users are everything. They make the site. So we evolve a little bit further, going down the lanes of what's really cool. This is an in-house ad for Fark Control, a drug I invented to help sell Drew's book. Basically, it's a paranoia drug. I think it's awesome. We move forward, and there's more shark ads. I like sharks. Shark Week is my favorite week.
Joe, is this the last one before the big redesign?
No, because I end on
Stop
that.
right before the big redesign.
April 26, 2007. So you want me to go back? This is the slide before the big redesign. Yeah. Go ahead, Tony. I'm sorry.
No, I just want you guys to see because the big uproar, and this was huge. This was like dropping a nuclear bomb on our site because we went from this, go ahead and switch, to that. It doesn't seem like much. Right now it seems like roughly the same thing to everybody sitting here. But it was like dropping a nuclear bomb on our site. And we're going to talk about where we screwed up.
Yes, sir.
I can't read the tabs on this layout, but you call those the Skittles. Was one of the changes that you categorized everything?
Yeah, well, the categories already existed, and the code already existed for pagination and putting different topics on different pages. The idea was to pull those tabs from looking like, okay, well, there's these things here, and you can click them and they'll go somewhere, to actual sections of the site which bleed and blend into the content area and kind of give you an idea of where you are. Tab-driven design. Very popular back in the mid-2000s, which is why we use it in the end of 2000s, because we are 1.1. We are awesome. We come to everything just a little bit later once we've proven it works. We're not very risque. So Tony insisted I tell you the story of my worst Notacon ever. It was my first. It was Notacon 4, 2007. And it was the week of, according to the archives, yeah. We launched the site on April 26, 2007, and immediately I hopped on a plane to come to Cleveland. What happened then? I want to kind of leave it to you, but I'll pick up from when you're done.
We basically did every conceivable thing wrong. The design was figured out, worked out behind the scenes. Everyone talked about it. The admins and the moderators looked at it. Joe said, "Does this look okay?" And all the admins and moderators looked at it and said, "Yeah, looks great. Looks fine." We didn't include one particular voice in that conversation, and that was our users. And so what happened is, when we launched this nuclear bomb of the change, no one knew it was coming. We dropped this on everybody on a Thursday afternoon, and I'm going to have Joe go ahead to the headline. This was the headline. Everyone came to Fark and looked completely different, and they said, God, what's going on? And this is what they saw. You'll notice by the number of comments that there was a certain bit of interest in this.
That's one of 6 discussion threads, by the way.
Yeah, and actually everyone was drinking right here at Notacon.
In the solder room,
In the solid.
where you shouldn't mix alcohol anyway, by the way, it's PSA.
Want me to keep going? All
Please
right.
do.
So, we didn't tell everyone, and what it was like is if you had a favorite neighborhood bar, all your friends go to this same bar. You guys know the bartender. You go in, it has the leather seats you like, it has the TV on the station you like, it has the name you like, the jukebox has all the music you like, everything you like about it. And then one day you walk in, and all your friends are there, everyone walks in at the same time, and it's changed. It looks like a Hooters, but none of the girls are looking good. It's completely different. The walls are white, the jukebox isn't there. And everyone walks in and goes, what the hell? Why? I'm here. Why is this not working? You weren't consulted at all. And as you may imagine, this caused just a little tiny bit of consternation. Well, I don't know if you guys probably can't see that, but
Tony's going to read it for you.
I'm not going to read it for you, but it was basically people saying, I don't like this. And since no one was there, this became an echo chamber of everyone saying, I don't like this. It was 3,800 comments worth of people saying, I really, really hate this, and here's why. Bam, 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 bam. In the middle of this, not everybody was at Notacon. There were a few people around, a couple of moderators, and Jeff. Jeff was one of the admins. In the middle, and he was actually one of the only visible people that decided he was going to respond. And so right in the middle of this, when everybody is tense, when everybody's pissed off, when everybody is saying, I don't understand what's going on, Jeff walked into the middle of it, and he said, look over it.
A little too far, sorry.
Who can imagine how this went over in a gigantic room full of people that are pissed off about the design? It went off like a nuclear bomb. Drew's email inbox filled, just filled, hundreds of emails. And actually, there were fewer emails on the design than there were about Jeff's comment. And by the way, for everyone here that actually is a Farker, we wanted to point that out. That's Jeff that said that. But people still come up to Mike and go, yeah, remember when you said you'll get over it? And Mike always goes, that wasn't me, that was Jeff. He was trying to fix things, so don't get those mixed up and tell your friends it was Jeff.
We have a comment.
Yeah, those people who were complaining, those were all paying customers for Fark, right?
Some.
Not all, no. This was on the main page, so this wasn't in the total Fark area. This was everybody that could come to the site.
Cool.
They were all Farkers, however. I mean, almost everyone that commented had an account. They just weren't all paying accounts.
Does it matter, really?
Yeah, either way, it doesn't matter. They wouldn't throw it away.
Yeah. But what I'll tell you is that we did experience a drop in Total Fark revenue. Total Fark is our advanced, well, I'd say advanced. It's not exclusive or anything. It's just basically you get to drink from the fire hose for $5 a month. You get every single link that's submitted. You can read it all, check it all out at your own purview, and then comment on it. So, these are folks who feel very invested in the site. They give back, they give money, and they had absolutely nothing to do with the redesign. They didn't even know it was going to happen. They just decided one day to check out their favorite place in the world, and it looked completely freaking different. So this is a choice comment. This wraps it all up perfectly without using the word fuck, shit, or god damn it. Because, oh yeah. Well, we're not streaming, we're just recording. So beep, beep, or beep. So the commenter Gosling, I don't really know the guy. I'm pretty sure he's a decent commenter. I've never met him. He basically summed it all up. Jeff's pay has been docked for the entire month of April. Was a joke to try and defuse some of the whole you'll get over it piece. And he said basically, if you're joking, please don't be. You'll get over it. And remember the last 3 times you guys hated it? Yeah, I thought so. Are the worst customer service I've seen in a hell of a long time. That hit me like a ton of bricks fired out of a gun. It sucked because here I am, my career started in '95. I started designing websites in my college lab, and I went to work for some pretty big companies doing some pretty big things that were very interesting, very forward-thinking, very design-centric, and I'm being told that I just basically screwed everyone. That did not feel very good, and at the time it felt very not good in the whole, you don't understand, this is my job and I'm awesome at it, so fuck you way. That's not the way it should have been. In fact, it's definitely the wrong way to go. It was hubris, and it's my fault. I'm going to go ahead and raise my hand and say I handled this completely incorrectly. Drew brought me in to help him out with a site redesign, and due to sheer ignorance of this particular type of site, I screwed it up. I made him look bad. I made Mike look bad. I put Jeff in a position where he felt like he had to defend a whole lot of people. I made our poor admin stay up all night, every night, all weekend. And my penance was to sit in the solder room and sniff solder all weekend and get lead poisoning, fixing our problem. And Mike sat right next to me and did that with me. It sucked. So.
One thing I'd also like to point out is that the changes that we made, we had to make. We were due for a redesign. It wasn't something that we did just for the sake of doing it. There were actually legitimate reasons behind it. There were a lot of things that needed to be updated and upgraded. And so there was actually legitimate reasons behind it. We just made a whole bunch of mistakes in implementing it.
Yeah, so what we did was good. You know, the diamond we found was a great diamond. We just, you know, destroyed a tribe of indigenous people trying to get at it, right? So, you know, where we went with the redesign, we cleaned up the logo, made it nice and clean. And I use the word clean. I know it's abstract. I know a lot of people go, what the hell does clean mean? Well, you know, it means what I want it to mean, which is it looks better. I hope that works. And in 2007, this wasn't a massively forward-thinking design. It was perfect for what it was supposed to be. Didn't change too much, presented the site the way it needed to be presented, moved things into places where they could go. Fark is inherently adverse to interstitials, popovers, pop-ups, anything that interrupts your experience. So in order to keep ad revenue continuing without pissing everyone off, we had to introduce the 300 by 250 unit. We didn't have a place for that in this design. That's pretty much, you know, sort of what drove it. But it wasn't just purely money. It was simply, look, it's 2007 and we look like that. Maybe we should use some gradient somewhere and a modern font face. I mean, that might be decent. And so we went the way we did. We learned the lessons we learned. The first lesson we learned is don't shock the user, respect them. Where things kind of got weird was, in my experience, I worked on corporate sites my entire life. I worked on, you know, basically big news sites or big corporate sites or big, you know, whatever, big box sites where essentially what they present forward is just stuff you look at, take in, move on, make a decision. You don't hang out there. You're not part of that community. You're a consumer. You go to, you know, say Fox News and you read Fox News and you're getting this news and you don't comment on anything because at the time there were no comments. Or Victoria's Secret, which was an awesome fucking job, by the way. And you basically go and look at underwear and it's badass, right?
And I want to interrupt. How many of you guys actually work for sites that are more like that, where if change needs to be made, you just make it? How many of you guys?
Yeah.
That's it? More?
I mean, not even on the front end. Network-wise, traffic-wise, if you work in a college, you know, essentially shit's broken, you go fix it, right? This was my first community site. I forgot one important element, which is, what was the great quote you had, essentially? That when you come to a corporate site, it's their site. I'm the user, and I'm on their site. When you go to a community site, this is my site. I give you my presence. I give you my world. I give you my time and my attention, and I involve myself in what you've built here. Thanks for the playground, dude, but I'm on the swing, so chill out. Yeah, that's where all the value comes. It's where, without the people, there's nothing else. I mean, without consumers, you know, stores shut down. Without participants and community members, your site shuts down, period. If you are driving your site by traffic and by awareness and by uniques, that's pretty much where you have to go. We didn't give an exit strategy. We didn't give people the ability to acclimate themselves, and we also didn't give them a way to back it out and say, you know what, I'm not ready for this. I don't know what this is I'm looking at here, so you know what, give me some time, let me chill out.
One thing I'd like you to do is if, let's say that you work on Windows XP, and you're using Windows XP, and all of a sudden one day you come down to your computer, you boot it up, and it's running Windows Vista. You didn't have a choice, you didn't have a warning. Everything, all of a sudden, everything just changed. And you didn't even, you know, it looked differently, it acted differently, it felt differently, and you had no choice. No warning, you didn't install it, that's just the way it was. And that's what we did. That's what we did to all of our users at once. So.
And it sucked. So the third thing that we learned was essentially that you can't just implement a public design or code base on day one and expect it to just go, right? we found out that people found ways to break our code base in ways we never tested. And I mean, internally, we're like, hey, does the comment system work? Yes, and it looks really good. What we didn't test was in-length strings that would make the page scroll infinitely horizontal because they were pissed, right? Or hidden white comments that blend into the background with a whole lot of F words in them. Or
By the way, we learned that because one of the words was sucks with about 140 U's in it.
yeah.
So,
And when 140 didn't work, they used 141 or 139. And we had to find all of that out, the wrong way, because what we could have done was open the door and say, hey guys, come check this thing out. Help us break it. Let's figure this out. Instead, we just said, hey, enjoy, and I hope you don't break it. And they did. Oh man, did they. And sometimes unintentionally. I mean, we found out that a 4,000 pixel image doesn't really fit very well in our comment system. So we found ways to fix that, and that was pretty cool. Let's see. The other thing that we learned was essentially the hubris factor. What I talked about, the corporate versus comment, or corporate versus community site. Thank you. I also learned I have like sudden onset verbal aphasia. Basically, the hubris factor. You don't know what you're doing because you did it for a long time. Okay, you are the expert in how to implement what other people want. That goes back to the Walmart story, right? Not my Walmart story, but the Walmart story. When someone decides what the problem is without actually asking anyone, it's like, walking up with a Band-Aid to a person with a broken leg. You heard there was a wound. You know that there's ways to fix it. You've decided my expertise is in iodine and bandages. I'm going to go fix this problem. It doesn't really help, right? So the very last problem that we solved or figured out and wanted to learn how to solve was sort of the comparison factor. What looks like the rest of the internet doesn't necessarily mean we have to be it. We don't have to keep up with the Joneses. We don't have to, because people are allowing voting on headlines or allowing, certain things to happen on their website, and other people are finding these things fascinating and new. That does not prompt or propel us to have to push forward. We decided we were going to keep up with our own pace, keep things going the way we wanted them to. And once this redesign thing happened, it taught us a massive lesson in, hey, don't tell the user what they want. Instead, find out what they want, give it to them. That was the moment where I thought Fark could go, stopped. It just ended right then and there. And I realized over one bad weekend that it's going to take a little while for me to become a member of the community, which I thought I was. As a user, I thought I was. But also as a user, I had all these ideas of what would make Fark so much better. And then I was coming from an aspect of, I've actually implemented some of this crap. So what if I worked there, I could actually make the changes I've always wanted to see on Fark. I'm one dude, that's it. The rest of the community, 399,000 or 300,999,999 people don't necessarily think like me, right? I've got to go in, figure out exactly what they're looking for, and make sure that we deliver it right.
this did, though, before Joe goes to the next slide, this did have one really good one outcome, and that was that for a long time, it's very easy being an admin, being a moderator, being Drew, to say, okay, you're coming to my site. And there was a lot of that attitude, is that everybody was coming to my site. As a result of this, that changed quite a bit how we dealt with that. And we started saying, actually, we're all going to our site. And that was a top-down change, and that was a very, very fast change. And we learned that the hardest way possible, but we did learn.
Yeah, and it's interesting that Tony brought up top-down change, because that's actually the last line of the talk, and he just gave it away. Thanks, dude.
Well,
Yeah, all right. So who learned the lesson in 2011? We did. Fark learned a huge lesson. That's why we haven't really changed much. We've done tweaks, we've done advancement on a back-end level, made things faster, quicker, almost invisible changes to the user. Where things loaded at 2 seconds, now they load at 1. The user actually doesn't notice any of this except for the more OCD folks. But we've been tweaking and working and really, really hard to make things look decent, move fast, and allow the community to participate where they want to go. Who didn't learn that lesson? Somebody fucked up. And that's not me ripping on Dig, okay? I read Dig. Every single day I read Dig. I read Reddit. I love Reddit. I think it's fantastic in terms of what they do and how they do it. And I feel like a member of the community, and I work for, arguably a competitor. We're actually really friendly with Reddit. We know Alexis very well, and even though he doesn't work there anymore, very cool guy, and we consider ourselves friends. We've partnered up on things in the past, and I know Reddit's not on the screen, but I'm trying to establish that we don't hate anybody. We just don't. We don't see them as competition, honestly, because in 2011, people can be on multiple sites at once, and it's not like TV, where at 8:30, Gilligan's Island comes on, and at 8:30 on the other channel, Beastmaster 2 comes on, and you have to pick between the two, right? No, you can do both now. It's great. It's a great movie. Dude, Dar is my hero. I always did that thing with a stick where I was like, okay, anyway, I wanted a ferret for the longest time. But yeah, so Reddit and Fark are friends. We actually teamed up and sent a crowbar and a face hugger and a map of Aperture and Black Mesa to CERN when they launched the Large Hadron Collider, because we thought that was really clever and cute. We do partner up with people.
Because one of their scientists looks exactly like Gordon Freeman.
He does. It's brilliant.
We wanted to make sure that he was protected adequately.
And he wrote us a thank you note too. It's very sweet. So where Reddit got things very right in that all they did was incremental change so that things presented well and just let the engine run the way it was supposed to run and keep it tweaking. They did not. They fucked up bad. And the reason they fucked up, I don't know. Like, no one's inside their internal camp, and no one actually heard the VC guys stick a stick right up Kevin Rose's ass, but someone did it. And when Jay Adelson walked out on the company is when you knew things were really, really, really awful. And they made a decision that impacted how the users used the site completely. I mean, it revamped everything in a way they thought was great, and the users ostensibly did not. Who else fucked up?
Oh my God.
Yeah, you see that screenshot? That took about 7 seconds just to get to that point, and it's still not loaded. It's awful, and that was taken today after all these tweaks that they've decided to make. Again, not picking. Denton and Drew are friends. We are not here to throw stones. We're here to teach a lesson. Yet another site that thought they knew better what the user wanted than what the user did. And what I think is absolutely hilarious is right here in this switch to the blog view by clicking here.
Why have they reverted it? They have to have lost like tons of like.
You mean like this?
That.
Funny you should bring
Why
that
they
up.
don't just revert?
They won't revert because then that's admitting that they made a horrible mistake, and you can't do that. When you are the size they are, you have the public face they do, you have ad revenue. What's that? We are doing it because we are 100% self-funded. We own ourselves. We do what we want. Yeah, we're not anyone else's bitch. We do what we want to do, and well, except Drew. I am his bitch. He will beat me up if he heard that. Thank God he's not here. So the reason why I included both of these screenshots, what? No, I got my own, sir, is because a lot of people are calling this bullshit. That's Alexa, right? So here's Quantcast. You can't fake Quantcast, period. Now, they do estimate low, but they're Quantcast. If you don't run Quantcast or ComServe, you're not getting ad dollars. And if this is showing that the entire Denton network of Gawker is taking that kind of a plunge, something's really bad and really messed up. In fact, I didn't have the time to pull all the screenshots, but the only site that hasn't shown this sort of trend is Lifehacker. And I'll guarantee you it's because Gina and Matt know how to run a site, and their content is so valuable that people just don't leave. They know that they can get this information only one place, whereas everything else, Jalopnik too had a pretty okay trend, but everyone else, the stuff that gets reported at Engadget, people are going and reading it at Engadget now, because there are alternatives that don't look bad and don't offend me by telling me what it is I want. So, I'm skipping ahead here. So what we've decided to do, and Tony can take over from here on our community side of things, is actually learn our lesson, come out forward, admit our mistake or my mistake, and involve the community for once and see what they think. And we've already done that. We've already posted to Drew's blog screenshots of the upcoming redesign. In the Fark conference we had on April 1st in Vegas, we brought it all out. We had a nice 30-minute talk with every total Farker in attendance. Here's what we'd like to do. What do you think? And it wasn't the same way Walmart said, here's our solution. What do you think of it? And then we're going to go implement it. It was much more, these are screenshots. We haven't even written an ounce of code. Tell us what you want. This is sort of where we want to be.
We also have a thread on the main page that embedded those screenshots, and we said, here's what we're doing, this is what we're thinking. We let everyone know the rough timeline on it, what it was going to look like, they can see it, and we got quite a bit of feedback. And who can guess what the result was when we did it that way? Everyone gave us a very resounding, powerful, that was it. That was it. There were a couple people who said, I don't like it, or they would say, I hate it, and they would say it in all caps, and then they would, in small, subscript, they'd say, like, I don't care.
And most of them said, I'm already over it. It's not even out yet, and I'm already over it. Very cute. So, basically we're months and months away from the final look of Fark. But the lesson we learned, and this is a big one, when you're dealing with a community site, is don't pull any rugs out. Don't just slam them with the hammer. Trickle things in. Let them get used to some stuff. Let people wade into this new community world, because your site is not a destination site. It's a tool. It is the way they communicate with the people they've become friends with or have associated themselves with or ingest news. You are upgrading a tool. What you're looking at here is the final stage. This will be months and months and months and months away. And what's going on here is, you have your little share button that you can click and stick stuff out there if you want to. But where we're going first is with just the header. We're going to clean it up a little bit, style it a little bit stronger, use some, a little bit more web-safe font, cleaned up the logo, move things over. So the contrast will be coming up on the sub menu here. We've tightened up the right side. There's no more friends links from 1999 like XE. I don't even know that they're in business anymore. I haven't clicked that link in forever. No more Tucker Max, no more any of that stuff. And this is where we're starting. We're just going to give them the list of links again. We're going to clean this up over here. We're going to give them the right side, clean up the footer a little bit, make the entire site look nice and unified, but it operates exactly the way they are used to. Nothing's different. Nothing's drastically changed. The only thing that's coming away is clutter and crap. But the site is exactly as operational in the exact same way that it was. Then when we do eventually move to a new way to look at headlines, more information on the front page, subtitles, subscreens, comments that are related to you, replies to you in threads, there will always be a way to click back to a list view. Oops, I forgot mouse does that, huh? I don't know how to use a computer. You can always get this list view from now on. It will never be taken away from anyone, because that's what Fark has always been, a list of links. Our updated headline view will simply be an option. It's a way to ingest the front page where essentially I have to click a little bit less. I don't have to click through and guess what the headline's about, but some people find that great. That's what they love. When they read a hilarious headline, they don't want to know exactly what the story is about. They want to laugh and then see what's up when they click.
No, that was it. For what it's worth, it's a lesson that we're still learning. Less than maybe a little over a year doing this now. Joe, when he was setting up the redesign, he said, okay, I'm going to take this one link out. This is not good. We're going to move it over here. It's what I call the salt shaker lesson. It's like, look, it's a community site. Everyone's been coming here. Everyone knows where everything is. I call this the salt shaker thing. It's like walking into someone's house, not telling them, walking into their house, opening up their cabinet, and taking away their salt shaker and then putting it inside the washing machine. They're accustomed to seeing everything where it is. Every time we've ever taken anything off the main page site, no matter how small, Drew gets an email saying, why do you guys take that off? Stuff that like no one else would ever know in a million years. There's someone that notices it, and so when we start moving things, we know not to just move it without explaining it. There's a balance that we're trying to strike every single day, and every time we do something like redesign. And that is that we want Fark to look modern. We want Fark to be consistent with everything, but at the same time, we don't want to take away what everyone's already used to, what everyone already likes, what they've come to like.
Because the people that are here are the most important. I mean, they're the ones that keep us in business daily. They're the ones who tell their friends to show up. I mean, at the end of the day, we could go an SEO game all day long, start screwing up links and have people click through and drive our traffic through the roof. We can do what Dig did. We can do what a lot of other sites do, like Wikipedia. That's why they're always on the first page. But we're not after new traffic all the time. We're after relevant traffic. We're after, if you like Fark, there's a good chance your friend will like Fark, and when they show up, not only will they not be scared off by the, let's just face it, the forceful nature of our users and their opinions, they'll actually probably blend in because they like you. You like Fark. Probably makes sense. We are a very organic company, and we have that luxury. We're great because there's no VC. We don't have anyone else to please. We just want to make sure that the people who are here are happy and that they bring more like them and that our site grows organically. So our deployment strategy, and this is kind of the crux of the talk, is that when you're a corporate site, this still is relevant, but you don't have to adhere to it. When you're a social site, when you deal with a community, you have no choice but to deal with it. Basically, we gave people a preview in screenshots only. Everything existed in Photoshop. That's it. I didn't build a stubbed code base. I didn't involve Mike or Meg, who's our lead developer, who couldn't make it today. I involved Tony, the community, all of the admins, all of the back end, and then some choice Total Fark users, and said, hey, what do you think? Then we put it out there, and we let our Total Fark users look at it first, and then the rest of the user base look at it and make opinions. because it was very easy to go in to a layer in Photoshop and move stuff around and then show them, okay, here's what you said, what do you think now? Then the next step is our beta. This will be launching, I can't give a hard date, but in a few weeks up to a few months, sometime somewhere, if you're a member of Fark, you'll start to see that there's a beta available. And if you're a Total Fark member, you'll be allowed to join the beta, which will be invite only for Total Farkers. That's it. So if you're a Total Farker, you're invited. You guys want the access to the beta, let me plug the $5 a month Total Fark. Be sure to buy me a Nintendo game this month. But yeah, so we'll beta it, and it'll be available to Total Farkers only for a little while. That's our information gathering period. We want to know not just, is this a good idea? Does it work better? Is it flowing well? Is it loading fast? Is it going where you want it to go and look more pleasing? But also, where is it breaking? What's going on here? Because you guys are going to be the ones that are going to be using it the absolute most. Then we'll do the public beta on top of the Total Fark beta. We'll let the public use it. And during that time, there will be a preview link at the top of Fark. See the new site. Check it out. If you like it, you can stay there. You can actually set that to be fark.com now. If you don't, we understand. Enjoy the old site. We understand that you want to take some time and acclimate yourself. And that's what deploy with a switch is. When we deploy, you'll have the ability to use the old Fark for a limited time, and then we'll release. That period's going to,
I was going to say, one thing we were talking about the people that didn't learn the lesson, but you have seen what people did. We've seen that Facebook did their rollout very, very slowly. We saw that Twitter is still doing that rollout very, very slowly. So the lesson has not been lost on everybody, but the slower rollout is absolutely crucial, so we wish we had done that.
yeah, and what we have discovered is that at the end of the day, if you're thinking it's a good idea and the rest of the company thinks it's a good idea and it feels right and you guys are invested in the site, chances are it's probably a good idea. What makes it a really bad idea is when you tell people you don't have a choice. You're going to use this great idea because it's so damn great. That's not how you do it, right? You give people a chance to kind of see what you were seeing when you were coming up with this and the page was blank, and then let them kind of decide on their own, yeah, this is actually pretty cool. This is a lot better. Yeah.
There's an element, I think, of guiding the users to it a little bit, because as I've gained more experience with just interface design and that kind of thing, the quote I think of a lot is the Henry Ford quote. If I asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horse and carriage.
Right.
But that always kind of brings to mind for me is just that discrepancy. Like, well, what happens if I in my, to use your excellent term, I think, hubris as a designer, look at the way people are using a site and think, I think that, it'd be better to use it this way, it'd be faster, easier, more intuitive.
Yep.
And the users don't see that. Is the answer to that to just kind of ask them to trust you and communicate and say, hey, look, bear with us, and then if this doesn't work, we'll revert, but, give it a try? I mean, is that really kind of the approach?
Exactly. I'm the guy that has to stare at the blank Wacom screen all day long and come up with, okay, how do you make something that's working work better, right? I have to gather all the intelligence I can possibly get and shove up my ass, and then I have to put it out there so that people don't go, ew, you got shit all over me, right? It's really tough, and it's a difficult job, and that's where hubris comes from. That's where the ego starts to show up. I am the master of all you see. Most system guys actually have a justifiable ego. Design guys don't, period. We don't have a justifiable ego. We love to think we do because we're all awesome and designery and we know gradients and look at the new font faces and know how to use typekit. That's some bullshit, man. We use crayons all day. We are professional colorers, and we get to basically sometimes draw our own lines, but basically our entire job is to make sure that you see stuff and not get confused by it. The worst thing you could possibly do is take this amazing thing you think is less confusing and then go confuse everyone with it, because now they have a negative association. That's what user experience is. How many people play games on their computer? Yeah. When a game starts to chug along and you hear the fan kick in on your laptop or your computer, how does that make you feel? And how often aware are you that it just happened? That's user experience. That actually is part of it. When your entire environment is affected by where you're going and what you're doing, and there's a negativity associated, when you hear that fan click on and it's not the game, you still feel that little, that dread. We have to avoid that. And most of us think we know how, and I think the way that you learn how to actually do that is involve the people using it and ask them, okay, what's making you nervous about this? What makes you feel agitated? What's gross? This is also why I hate PowerPoint, because it sucks. So that's the end. This is where you clap. I'm going to leave this up while you guys have your mobile devices and stuff, but we are taking questions. So most of them should be directed to Mike Andrews of Fark.com.
Raise your hand so that the guy with the microphone can hand it first and it gets on the table.
Yeah.
why would you disable the switch between the old site and the new site at any point? Like, in particularly, I still use Slashdot and IMDb because they let me use what I'm accustomed to. And if they ever took that away, I might just stop going. I'm curious
That's the
why we want to
logistics
get
thing,
rid of
yeah.
it.
We have code bases we have to manage, and the other thing about being a completely self-contained site is we can only afford so many people. All right, we can only staff a certain number of folks. And unfortunately, or fortunately, either way you want to look at it, this man right here inherits every problem we ever get on Fark, and that's a lot of stress. The code, and Meg inherits it after Mike inherits it, because Mike's the first one to see it in all the logs. He's on it. So there is a point at which the code bases do differ, and support has to basically degrade. We need to move on to the next place. The other thing is that being a front-facing site, yeah, Slashdot does work towards the nostalgia aspect. We don't know that there's much merit in keeping our 2001 version of Fark up, because it is pretty god awful. It was great then. I mean, don't get me wrong, but that was back when a picture of a dinosaur was a really exciting thing. Anyway, but that's the reason. It's just simply a logistics issue. If we could staff more people, if we could get volunteer code base experts to do things, yeah, maybe we could maintain that code base and keep things running and make sure that every time we publish new change to the new stuff, that the old stuff still works. We can't really do that. Yeah, we don't have venture capital. We don't have funding. Please buy Total Fark. Maybe we can put that in. Yeah.
So in line with those thoughts about maintainability, are you doing anything in the space of automated user acceptance testing? Then it would be kind of a breeze to know that your old code base is working with the new data.
That's a Mike question, but I think the answer is no.
Only two of us had a background set that up yet.
Yeah, we are venturing into, we do a lot of like front end A/B testing, which if you have a drink, take it now. I mean, there's like I love bingo, like buzzword bingo. We are doing a lot of A/B testing, a lot of heat map stuff, a lot of UI centric stuff, so that we understand where the users are going, what they're doing, and that's what's driving a lot of our decisions. When it comes to the automated user testing on the back end, there's a lot to do there. So no.
There are some developers, though, who do this as key to having a craft that is sustainable and flexible and keeps your software soft.
Right.
So they write their tests first before they make any changes.
Right.
Part of that philosophy.
Well, as far as the tests go in philosophy and like test scripts, yeah.
Yeah, it comes down to time and
When it comes to like user scripts, when we define an actor and we decide where they want to go, when you're talking front end scripts, like theoretical stuff, yeah, we do write that stuff out, and we actually have those conversations. When it comes to the automated stuff and like software-based scripts that go and like measure, we don't have the time. We have to move and then get going. Sorry.
That's been that question.
I'm curious from your own career standpoint. It sounds like when you first came on, you had this massive fail, and so how did you kind of keep from being like a how did you keep from being like a scapegoat and end up like Marie Antoinette or something?
There are a few ways actually. Mike took a lot of the blame that he didn't have to take, and it wasn't because he stepped forward and said, I'm going to take it all, because I wanted to take that blame. The problem was I was a consultant at the time. I was not an employee, and the face of the company was Drew and Mike.
The way you did it is you did a PowerPoint presentation 4 years later. You threw yourself under the bus.
Yeah. But no, and there was a temptation to just leave. I mean, you have to understand, boy, it was like, holy shit, I got that one wrong. My dad always told me, if you can't do it well, don't do it, right? I decided instead, there was no other gig I wanted. There was no other job I wanted. I was going to turn down everything else that came, and I was going to figure this out.
How long did it take you to kind of get over that?
Not there. I'm still doing it. It's when you are used to being the guy, okay? I mean, a lot of us have the same career path. We started young. We're the youngest one in our little world or near it. We were also people that we felt were bright. We felt that we had the answers, and most of the time we did. And it wasn't just because we were smart and knew better. It was also because everyone else around us didn't know what the hell was going on. Technology is magic. It just is. And the people in your community, in your group, IT department, whatever, they all feel the same way. When you walk into a world and you get hit smack in the face, you kind of have two choices. You stand there and you take it and you learn how to fight, or you run away like a little girl. Little boy. Girls are smart. Girls don't run, man. They're scary. But I mean, you have those two choices, and I kind of just decided, you know what, I can leave them all alone and just, you know what, this is a consulting gig. Screw it. I'm out. Drew and Mike, have fun. But that just wasn't the way it needed to go. And now we have Tony.
You mentioned a dip in the,
Hang on, I'm gonna have you get that mic.
Mike, yeah, we can't hear much.
You mentioned a dip in the total Farker usage after the 2007 change. Do you guys think you've bounced back from that? And do you notice that it's the same people coming back after they've forgiven you, or is it just new people?
We took a look at this actually. We found that there was definitely a drop off right then. A lot of people canceled in a fit of spite. There's a small element of people that were sort of, and they're like, it's the same thing, we're not getting anything new out of it. They didn't have an excuse until this came up, and then they said, I'm done. We found some of the loudest ones, surprisingly, came back under a different username. So they kind of snuck back in and created something new for themselves. We know, but honestly, there was a drop off. I think a lot of it is bounced back. There are some people that we never really got back, but I think that those people would have been gone on their own with another excuse, or just because it tapered off on their own natural use anyway, because of that. But
I really like that.
I love that picture. That dude's awesome.
I'm just glad it's not the back boobies picture.
No, dude's somewhat muscular, but a little bit of fat under the spandex in his ass. I love that. He doesn't care, man. He's just there getting his conditioner.
when we were setting this up, he kept showing me this picture, going, what about this picture? I've seen it. It's the same. He goes, no, keep looking.
It gets better.
It gets better.
The longer you look at it, the hairnet, everything, dude. That dude's badass. I love him. Who's got another question?
We're replacing the Fark squirrel.
Yeah, this is the dude. Walmart dude. Who's got a question? Give us some more questions. Ask anything now. It doesn't have to be about Fark. I'll make shit up.
Do you kind of feel that you're a slave to the users? Now, any change that you make, you have to run by them. Is that irritating or anything like that?
I'll answer it. And Joe is going to have a slightly different point of view, but
One you don't want to hear.
no. It's I don't think it's a slave to the users. I think that we sort of recognized how much of this is community driven. There isn't an end product. The product is information, and it's the community. And what we were doing is we weren't addressing the community element of that, and we realized how very, very, very wrong we were to do that.
What do you think about the Microsoft Office redesign?
What is Microsoft Office?
Well, PowerPoint.
I don't use, this is Keynote actually. I just call it PowerPoint because all slides are evil. They're terrible. As far as Microsoft's Office redesign, the last one I used, the day they involved that ribbon thing, I quit. I was done. I went to OpenOffice like permanently and didn't care anymore. But now I use iWork, so. Yeah, it was when I couldn't find the damn menus, right? When I couldn't go where I've always been to get work done, that affected me. And I think that it's analogous. When I can't go somewhere to get my information now, it's a crack fiend, man. If I can't get it, I'm gonna murder a son of a bitch, get the money and go get it somewhere. But blue hair first. Miss Road Clown.
Thank you. One question. It's a very serious question. Why didn't you have a slide with that squirrel with the big nuts?
Why decide the squirrel with the big nuts? Is that what you asked?
Yeah.
Ask Drew. He likes it. Drew likes big nuts?
No, I'm asking why you didn't. I'm asking why you didn't show us the squirrel with the big nuts.
Oh, because that's pornographic.
See, this one's just sexy.
Tell me you can't. Can you look away? You can't look away.
I've been trying to.
You can't. That's amazing. Posture and everything. No, that's why. I don't know why I didn't pick it. It just didn't come to mind. I think I'm a little tired of the squirrel with the big nuts, but I've looked at it for 10 years, you know. 12.
7, and I guess, it's still very much in its shelf life.
Oh, it's great. It's beautiful. It's a great picture. I thought this was more fun. Pink tights, dude.
The image that we set up, I don't know if any of you were familiar, we just had a big party meetup thing in Vegas, and the image that we used was Vegas being destroyed by Godzilla, and the Godzilla had this big giant ball hanging down, right?
It's awesome. And you guys should all come next year. It's a blast. We had a good time. It's open to all Fark users. If you use Fark, come on out. You had a question.
I don't know why I'm asking this, because I hate the question myself. Mobile apps, what do you think? Is Fark going to do anything?
You want me to answer that? Okay. We don't have an official Fark mobile app in the App Store because I think it's redundant. Until you can offer something new, there's no point. I think there's a lot of prestige in the early days to just say, oh, we're in the App Store, you can download us, it's free, whatever, we can stick ads in that son of a bitch too. But really, we mobile optimized the app. We made it, 100% touch capacitive and using jQuery Touch. We work, mobile optimized with the web app, But as far as the App Store goes, I have ideas of things I think would be awesome. Fark related, Fark theme. They will not be the Fark site. It just won't happen that way because there's no point. Yeah, I could use some of that to gain metrics, but unless I can charge you money for it, it's just another code base to maintain. And we don't need that right now. If there's a return on investment, apps make sense. If there's new value to the user, apps make sense. But to bring no new value, just to have some prestige and make this job a lot harder, no point.
That said, we're always open to ideas because there are people that have ideas that we haven't thought of yet. And a lot of the best ideas we have on the site are things that people have brought to us and said, hey, this is something you guys haven't looked at.
Right.
Be a total Fark.
A total Fark.
Only total Fark people get it.
Oh, I mean, I guess I could do that, but that's even worse. Let's make an app that no one's going to use and make it for a smaller code base that won't ever, or a smaller user base that won't ever download it, But
Actually, the only thing we really want to add is some kind of push notification that whenever there's a total Fark discussion, thread going epic, that people get a little ping saying, oh, here's something that's going on, it's at 500 posts, you better jump in quick.
Yeah, I'll tell you that, and I don't want to bristle Mike because, I don't want him to think that I'm coming up with this and pitching it as an idea. But one of the ideas that I would say is new value using the Fark code base would be like a notification app, a lot like AP, but on Fark, where basically we record Drew Curtis saying, hey, he has a very distinctive way of saying, hey, and every time a story comes up that triggers your little alert, your phone goes, hey, and you look at it, and there's a news flash, or there's a scary tag, or there's a TFD that's going on that, total Fark discussion going on that you might want to jump into. And that's the type of app I think there is value to because it brings users back to the site. There's a return on investment in the fact that traffic goes high, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, I'm being pushed. Well, it's dinner break after this, right? I guess we're all hungry, right? So 5 minutes. Who's got another question? We gonna eat early? Let's do it. I totally, our lessons.